something and it gets on somebody else's page too.
Oh yeah.
So somebody shares your stuff. You know, a lot of people share my stuff. I don't necessarily share other people's stuff, but people like to share my stuff. So yeah.
All
So
right.
Vernon's coming up. Yo, I had John Shea all lined up, and then today he calls me. Oh, I forgot about this kid. This thing I got to do with my daughter. I just wish he'd let me know.
John who?
John Shea. He's the baseball writer for the Chronicle. I was going to talk to him about the
yeah.
class, but it's okay. It'd be more fun to talk some NFL. Vernon loves the NFL. You and I love the NFL.
Yeah.
It's been, we can get into the baseball, but I think talk about this Kaepernick thing, and I love talking. If you guys want to talk about David Carr, I love that kid. He is
He's looking pretty good.
You know, and who's the best team in football right now? You know, is it Green Bay? Is it Denver? Who's playing really well?
Yeah.
I mean, could it be Carolina? What a surprise they've been.
Wow.
You know, 4-0.
Philadelphia.
What a disappointment they've been. How about Buffalo? You talk about a schizoid team. They're. What gives me hope with the Raiders though? They have 4 or 5 really good players. If you have, they have 3 really good veterans on defense, and 1 outstanding, young player on defense, and they have 2 guys. 1 guy definitely is a playmaker. The other 2 are possibly playmakers on offense. They got an offensive line that's okay. They got a quarterback that's really coming into his own. I mean, and they got a coach who's a proven, decent coach. Not great, but good. So they're on the right track. I think a 500 season is very doable for them. I'd love to see them upset Denver, but I don't expect it.
Won't get you into the playoffs, but
no. I don't think. I think in their division they'll be lucky. They could beat out San Diego and Kansas City. Well, there's a team that's having trouble. Kansas City. Ooh, bad start.
Did Vern want us to call him at home?
Call him on his cell. If he is at home, it'd be great. Let's ask him because I'd rather. I'm sure you'd rather have him on the landline is so much better.
Let's see.
That was real nice of him to do that. John just called me up at like 11 o'clock, and I actually got Vern like within the last couple hours. So
Yeah, I'm surprised he'd be available on Tuesdays. So
yeah, he's asking. He goes, "What's the deal? Are you guys doing a show on Thursday?" I said, "Well, we just moved over because Ed wants to do it then, and because of your piggybacks makes sense."
Yeah, just easier.
The Vernster. Come on, Vern, answer that phone, and they have to text you.
He knows 2:30, right?
He does. I'll text him. Sometimes he's.
Sports Econ 101.
There he is.
Okay, so we got to do this in unison. 1, 2, 3.
Sup, dog?
we don't do it quite as well as you.
No. Vern, where did that come from anyway? What's the origin of that expression?
Sup is the Anglo-Saxon translation would be what's up.
What's happening, right?
Yeah.
But where did that become popularized? Or when did it become popularized?
It'd be nice if I plugged this in.
What's that?
It'd be nice if I plugged this
in.
in.
Edward doesn't have you plugged in.
No, I don't have any of us plugged in.
No, not any of us are plugged in. There we go.
So I'm running around the TV station looking for a quiet place.
Oh, there you go.
To do this. Today is like a big.
Crazy, huh?
There's like a jillion people here.
Oh my gosh, everybody's having a good time. I just got out of the ocean. The waves were unbelievable, and I actually almost got bumped by a dolphin. I came up under a wave, and there's a dolphin literally like staring at me face to face. It was surreal.
Really?
Yeah, it was like he was no more than 5 feet away.
Flipper?
He looked like Flipper. He looked just like Flipper.
Well, at first Bruce thought it was an accident, but then it was on purpose.
Oh, very, very funny.
You like those puns?
So you're going to be out at the Denver game Sunday?
Yes, I will be there.
Oh, good. Well, we'll see you there. That'll be fun.
Channel 5 game. I'll be flexible. Oh man, you know where I am?
No.
The actual studio where we do the newscast.
Hey, what's going on in the What's going on in the baseball game, Vern? How's Texas Toronto going?
Joey Bennett just went deep, so it's 4-3.
4-3 Toronto?
No, 4-3 Texas.
Yeah, because it's not on local radio, which really pisses me off. Usually KMBR.
Toronto's making a game out of it.
Great.
Yeah, I'll have to watch the highlights. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's bang this guy
out.
Do it.
All right.
We all ready. We got the Vernster aboard.
All right, here we go. Welcome. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. This is the show.
Damn right. You're darn right. Absolutely.
Who is that guy? That sounds like a familiar voice.
That's Vern Glenn.
He's back.
He's back. He's back. Okay. This is the show where we discuss.
I'm live from the set of KPIX 5 in beside Battery Street,
In San Francisco.
California.
All right. So
There
what's
you
this
go.
show about? Well, we discuss sports topics from a business perspective. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Bruce McGowan.
And how about those free vacations?
We'll get into that in just a minute
Okay,
here.
I want one of those.
So Bruce
That's
is
one of my favorite F words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free vacations.
That's a B word.
What's that, free?
No. Oh, I thought V
Oh,
for
V-
vacations.
vacation,
He's
okay.
saying F for
Oh,
free. Okay,
free,
there we
yeah.
go. And today's show is going to be great because of our former co-host and now a guest, Vern Glenn.
Yeah, it's good to have Vernon back on once in a while. He's deigned to join us in between, running around and doing his job. So he's doing double duty.
What a guy! What a
Yeah.
guy! So anyway, at each commercial break, we're going to ask a sports trivia question, and the first email correct answer is going to win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. And today's trivia theme is baseball in the year 2010.
Oh,
So rather than going back to the 1880s, which is my specialty,
sure.
we decided
Cap
to bring,
Anson days, right?
yeah, that's right, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right around his time. That's
Yeah.
right. We thought we'd bring it right up to the year 2010. So that's only, 5 years old?
Cap Anson, by the way, was a
That
despicable.
would be a San Francisco Giants World Series year.
That's
That
right.
is correct.
I was going to say that Cap Anson, despicable human being. He kept African Americans out of baseball effectively for about 50, 60 years. It was because of him.
Yeah, because
and he's in the Hall of Fame, which he should be.
well, yeah, was it
Fleetwood Walker, yeah.
He was.
He was basically run out of the game by people like Cap Anson.
Okay. Well, this segment of Sports Econ 101 is sponsored by Pacific Private Money, providing mortgage investments that are currently yielding over 8%, secured by Bay Area, that's San Francisco Bay Area, real estate. Doesn't get any more conservative than that. Check them out at pacificprivatemoney.com. Stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back. All right, so that's our first.
All right, I got my
little
MLB. I got my MLB app here, Vern. I'm definitely into the 21st century now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can probably put up the game. It's on Fox Sports 1.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I was watching it at the Bay Club for a bit. Has Will Venable done anything yet? Is he playing?
Not that I've seen, but then again, I just got back from the Raiders. So but when I walked in, it was 4-1, and then it was 4-2, and then the Bats just made it a one-run game.
The greatness of the Raiders.
That's right.
How do you like dealing with Alden Smith? You've dealt with him before, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
He seems like a pretty nice guy.
Of course.
He seems like a pretty nice guy, actually. Kind of
He
soft-spoken.
actually is. He has kind of a sarcastic, kind of dry
Sense of humor.
type thing to him.
He seems like a pretty sharp guy. He just he's got some troubles.
Yeah.
He's got some,
Yeah.
I guess his parents, or something with his dad or something. He had some rough childhood upbringing, I think.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I don't know. Maybe you know more, Jim Vernon. I don't know if you'd spell
Someone's good. Vern, take him under your wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We talked about him a little bit today. I did a
Yeah.
with Roy Halou Jr.
Oh, yeah.
backup running back, and when he was in college in Nebraska, they played against Alden Smith in Missouri. That was a game where Blue ran for over 300 yards.
Wow.
And I said, hey, does Alden Smith ever talking about that? They go, yeah, man, he brings it up all the time. Excuses as to why I had a big game.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Yep,
All
good.
right, here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Bruce McGowan.
Nice to be here.
And, of course, on the phone, we miss him. We've had him on as a guest once before, and he was our co-host, Vern Glenn.
Vern Glenn for well over a year.
Yeah.
Vern, it's good to have you aboard again here. If only for this
Of America?
Yeah,
Hey.
Yeah. What you been up to now? What are you doing this week? You covering the Raiders? Tell us a little bit about what's going on with the Raiders right
Well,
now.
a few days ago, I just got back from Chicago. I had Raiders Bears, and so I'm here this weekend. I have Raiders and the Denver Broncos.
Nice.
By the way, Vegas is not. I mean, it's not necessarily a runaway for the Denver Broncos. I mean, you would think it'd be close to a double-digit type spread, but it's only 4.5 to 6.
Yeah, I think the Raiders will hang
The
in there.
Broncos coming in.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
the Raiders will hang in there.
Is it because the Raiders look good, or they're concerned about Peyton? Still. I mean, he's doing well.
I
But
think right now that again, I mean, as we tape the show, the money hasn't really moved that much. It'll be really active over the before kickoff. But I think right now, I think the money is saying that the Raiders are a little bit better than people expected. Because everybody expected the Raiders to beat the Bears last weekend.
Yeah.
They were road favorite going into the game. They had been a road favorite since 2012.
Should have won that game too. What happened in that ball game? Because they had that game really. All they had to do was convert a third down or just make a stop on third down on defense, and they couldn't do either.
They couldn't do either. Then they had some turnover issues, particularly with their running back situation. That's why you saw Halil get in the game the way he did and score a touchdown. But they're saying, hey, this is one of these. It's kind of equivalent of them missing a 10-foot putt to win a golf tournament. They're like, it got away. We'll clean it up. We'll get them the next time. That's really how they feel about it.
That's a fun team to watch, those Raiders. I mean, Edward and I were talking about this off mic before the show that they've got 6 or 7 really good players and some veterans like Justin Tuck and Charles Woodson, and now Alden Smith is aboard from the 49ers, and this young quarterback Derek Carr, I'm sorry, David, his older brother. Derek looks like he could be one of the best young quarterbacks in the game.
Super confident guy. He makes some young mistakes, as young quarterbacks will do, but by and large, he executes the game plan. He's got great chemistry with Amari Cooper, and they're not racking up these penalties at an alarming rate. And again, they're really not making the mistakes aside from the turnover they had last weekend in Chicago that really killed them like they have before. And they're learning how to finish games. That's why they're 2-2 going in.
Can I want to change subject for just a quick second because I wanted to talk about that Seahawks game. Now, does it seem like they just keep catching break after break? I mean, you had the strike of the refs where they pulled that game out where they shouldn't have won, and then here you get they're in the end zone he bats the ball out of the way, and it's clearly. You're not allowed to do that.
And the refs saw it happen right in front of them.
Yeah, I mean it was really obvious.
And they apologized for it. But don't you think the league? I mean, with all the money that's at stake and all the prestige, they should that kind of thing. I mean, a mistake is going to happen once in a while, but not in a critical situation. My gosh.
Well, it's happened before. It won't. It certainly won't be the last time. It's not like they could just call both teams out of the locker room and go back and start replaying it again. I mean, that thing is done. And I do believe over the course of a 16-game schedule, the law of averages somehow, some way will swing against the Seahawks. So this will even out. Trust me, it almost always does.
But you wonder, like certain plays, you can review. I mean, did anyone bring? How many people brought that up as soon as it happened? It's one thing if everybody misses it, and at the end they look and they go.
Well, I guess they can't review that one though because it's a judgment call. So. That's the frustration of that one is that they could not review it. It's funny. Pete Carroll after the game was saying, "Well, these things happen." He kind of had a little twinkle in his eye, like,
yeah. But then why would the refs, apologize?
Well, I mean, it's better for them. Listen, if you make a mistake, cop to it. Don't sit there and make excuses. I'll give them credit. Hey, we blew it. We made a mistake. Hopefully, we'll not again.
Plus, when they ran the next play, it was over.
Yeah.
Once the touchback was called, then it's over.
Yeah, you wonder how many times it's a situation where the refs forget about a specific rule.
I think it's
I don't think they forget about it, Edward, because these guys are graded on every game. I mean, there's like a hierarchy of officials that grade every crew, and the ones that get the highest marks at the end of the season are the ones that get to do the playoffs.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And the best of the best of those are the ones that get to do the big playoff games and ultimately the Super Bowl.
And I was reading that
they do not want to make a mistake.
No, you don't want to make them. What were you reading, Edward?
Well, I was reading that I didn't know that the refs get Super Bowl rings.
And I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Did you, Vern?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
well, that makes sense.
Not as big.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
You get to. I mean, I remember talking to Eddie Montague, who's a local guy. Bay Area guy who used to umpire for many, many years. He's a supervisor now. And he said, I got to work 10 World Series. And it's really special, to be in a position like that. I got to ask you, Vern, though, because you're covering both Bay Area teams, and I know we're a national show, but in terms of a disappointing team, the 49ers weren't supposed to be that good this year because of all the losses of guys to retirement and free agency and injury. But, man, what has happened to Colin Kaepernick? His confidence not only seems shot, but the body language is not there. And yet, I noticed at the press conference yesterday, I was watching a little on television, he seemed like the same old Colin Kaepernick, nothing, no, not betraying any sign of emotion, not giving the media anything. Maybe there's something to this kid. I don't know. He's certainly a special talent, but boy, he's had an awful year.
Well, there's several theories to this. First of all, Carly really doesn't have anybody anymore to confide in, to mentor him anymore. When he first joined the 49ers, who found him? Jim Harbaugh. Who mentored him? Jim Harbaugh. Who got Harbaugh? Who turned him into the boring 2 and 3 word answer?
I got this. Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, it was Jim Harbaugh. Well, now he doesn't have Jim anymore. And yeah, I know in the off season he spent his own money and worked with Kurt Warner. I mean, in my opinion, there's better guys than Kurt Warner or Garcia if he wanted to. Same kind of quarterback, but he didn't. But in any event, and I think he had some kind of renewed confidence in him at that point, and then they went out and they beat the Vikings. Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
And I think that really kind of clouded everybody's judgment. Just like every preseason game, it clouded everybody's judgment. Where if you really did football, you couldn't pull anything out of the preseason games you saw. But I think everybody's in this read and react soft sports market that the San Francisco is. People's judgments were completely clouded by what happened with the Vikings. And then when they started ramping up and playing some other talent as the schedule moved on, the struggles were really exposed on the offensive line, on Kaepernick, and his inability to make decisions and trust his offensive line and trust his receivers that were going to be there if he let the ball go. And it's 4 interceptions against Arizona.
Yeah, that was
that's
awful.
That's going to shoot anybody's confidence.
How much longer?
Out of the ringer.
I was going to say, how much longer are they going to stay with this guy, though? I mean, Blaine Gabbert is not exactly a great alternative, but I mean, if he has another struggle on Sunday night in front of a national audience, is it a good possibility that he's going to be benched for a while?
Well, the easy answer would be yes, but Bruce, you know that these guys, they eat football, they breathe it, they sleep it. They're at the facility more than they're at their own homes. They don't live like you and I do, where we check out and go. You're not allowed to check out. So if there was something really wrong and really dysfunctional, they would step in and make a change right away.
Okay, hey, Vern, hold that thought, because we got to cut to our commercial break, and the theme is baseball in the year 2010. All right, so the celebrations at home plate after a game-ending home run were bound to result in an injury sooner or later. And in May, this is 2010, one did. Which Los Angeles Angel hit a 10th inning grand slam to beat the Seattle Mariners, then suffered a broken leg in the celebration at home plate?
Yeah.
The first email with the correct answer will win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Email Edward at sportsecon101.com the answer to that question. I remember that too.
I remember it.
Remember the guy's name.
I can't remember
right?
the guy's name.
All right, stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101, and we will be right back.
You remember that one, Vernon?
What's that?
You remember that one? I don't. I mean, I remember it. I just don't remember the name of the player.
I vaguely remember, but
Yeah, I can't. Is it somebody pretty well known, Edward?
Not really.
Okay, so he's maybe not with the Angels anymore.
No, I don't remember.
Huh.
All right, let me save this file. Yeah.
So Vern, you gonna do some road games again with the Niners and Raiders whenever you guys carry them?
We have we'll always have the Raider game. I don't travel again until San Diego at the end of the month. We
okay.
have the Thursday night 49ers Seahawks game on Channel 5 because we share with the NFL Network.
There you go.
Thursday night game.
Yeah.
In fact, we have a game tonight. So.
That should be fun. And I hear that Andrew Luck is not playing tonight.
No.
That's my understanding.
So
He's not going to play.
40-year-old Matt Hasselbeck.
Yeah, he played pretty well last time.
His brother is a commentator, isn't he?
Yeah, they had a picture of the two who look identical.
Yeah.
And his brother is married to Elizabeth Hasselbeck, who A was on Survivor, and B, she was the conservative Republican outspoken woman on the TV shows of You.
I was going to say, she's a pretty good-looking lady. Yeah. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Bruce McGowan. And we got Vern Glenn, of course, on the phone. And we asked this trivia question, 2010 baseball we're talking. The celebrations at home plate after a game-ending home run were bound to result in an injury sooner or later. And in May 2010, one did. Which Los Angeles Angel hit a 10th inning grand slam to beat the Seattle Mariners, then suffered a broken leg in the celebration at home plate?
Haven't a clue.
Ready?
It's somebody.
Again, it's not somebody who you
would jump out at you.
Yeah, no, like Albert
It's
Pujols or something.
not like, oh, Mike Trout. No.
Yeah, no.
It's,
You ready?
Yeah.
It's Kendry Morales.
Kendry Morales. Oh,
yeah.
He was a pretty speedy ball player for a while. Good ball player.
I know, I remember that. I believe they took him off on a stretcher.
I'm in the excitement of all. Yeah, he suffered a fracture.
Hey, I gotta ask you guys if you heard this story. It's kind of it sounds kind of really stupid, but it's sort of funny in a way, in a weird sort of way. Two ex-Warriors, I guess, Matt Barnes, who had a wife and was divorced from this wife, and Derek Fisher. Both these guys played with the Warriors. No longer, of course, playing with the Warriors. I think Fisher is actually coaching, isn't he? I believe he's coaching. Who's he coaching? Is he coaching the Lakers, Vern? Derek Fisher. Who is Derek Fisher coaching? He's coaching an NBA team.
The Knicks, man.
The Knicks. There you go. Well, anyway, I don't know if you heard this story, Vern or Edward, but Barnes finds out his 6-year-old is at this party that his mom is hosting. There's maybe 10 people there, and I guess Derek Fisher happens to be there, and the 6-year-old relayed information to Dad on the phone that he didn't feel too comfortable with the way Derek Fisher was behaving towards Mom. So I guess what happened was Matt Barnes got in his car, drove 95 miles, showed up at his wife's party unannounced, and beat the living you-know-what, not really beat him up, but slapped him a few times and punched him a few times, Derek Fisher. I mean, it was apparently they used to be friends, and the wife knew them both, and there's something going on here, but it sounds like, it sounds pretty silly to me.
Well, hasn't Matt Barnes always been a thug?
No, he has that reputation because of all the tattoos. He's a UCLA guy. I found him to be a very likable guy.
Yeah, but on the court, though, he's always getting into some kind of a stumble.
He's intense. He's an intense guy. Have you heard about this story at all, Vernon? Did it pop up on your radar? It was one of those little seamy stories that kind of missed you. Did you hear about it?
I heard about it. I have updated information on that one.
Oh, yeah, tell us.
Says that he says he got a call from his 10-year-old.
Yeah, 10-year-old, okay.
And when they FaceTime chatted each other, you could tell that something was wrong with the 10-year-old. And the 10-year-old said that, there's people over, and mommy's friend Derek is here. And Barnes says he didn't drive 95 miles playing Tupac, ready to kill somebody. He said he lives 15 minutes away from the residence, and he went over there because he had his son's welfare in mind. And he and Fish, he doesn't deny that he and Fish got into it, and that Derek Fish got the worst of it. But he says it all came from a phone call he got from his 10-year-old.
Don't mess with Matt Barnes' woman, even if she isn't married to him anymore.
Well, it's funny. That reminds me.
They're not officially divorced.
Oh, they're not. They're just separated. Okay.
And as is Derek Fisher and his, they are also estranged, not legally divorced.
That reminds me. When my son was 9 years old, so it's always right around that time. He tells me that, or actually, both he and my wife tell me that they come home from Whole Foods, and one of the guys who's working there, and this is at the time when my wife was working out quite a bit, so she looked extra special, and one of the guys who works there basically hands my wife some flowers and says, "How do you tell someone that you love them?"
Oh,
and my son felt really uncomfortable about that, right?
Yeah.
So my wife
was she a customer there?
Yeah, she was just shopping there, right? Yeah. And so she felt a little uneasy, but he felt more uneasy, and he could really tell what was going on at 9 years old. So they come home, and my wife tells me about this, and I go, so I live about less than 15 minutes away, and I don't know the guy's name, but I know she describes what he looks like.
Sure.
So I go down to Whole Foods, and I find the guy.
With the intent to kick his ass?
No.
Just wanted to find out what his intentions were.
Yeah, I knew what his intentions were, but.
But didn't he know she was married and she's wearing a ring?
She's wearing a ring, and she's got a 9-year-old, and he's trying to play it off like it's some innocent.
Oh, maybe he's just being nice.
Maybe, but that, you gotta know what's appropriate, what's inappropriate.
Yeah, you gotta be a little careful with that stuff.
So I approached him. I was very nice to him, but I explained to him. I said, "Listen, My son was very uncomfortable, as was my wife, and so am I.
Yeah.
I said, think about what you're doing ahead of time. You know?
Good, that's good. And
Yeah,
it's, rather than get in his face and scream at him, this way he can look at himself for doing that and say, "Geez, maybe."
yeah, I mean, and it was very nice. He apologized. He
Oh,
realized
that's nice.
he was incorrect on what he did. And
Stepped across the line.
Yeah. I mean, the last thing I want to do is get in a fight with someone and get sued.
Yeah, I never forget. I went out on a date once, and I was with this very attractive woman, and we didn't have anything going at the time. This guy comes over while we're sitting there, and gives her his phone number. Very good-looking guy, and he says, "Give me a call." He looks at me and kind of smiles and winks, like, and I'm serious. And the woman, she took the thing and she looked at him and smiled, took it and ripped it up and threw it down on the floor.
What she should have done is
Wow.
she should have done is taken the number and given it to some old fat lady.
Well, I just thought that was kind of classy of her to do that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, she could have been a jerk and taken the number and said, liked all the attention. But
Anyway, not when she's with you.
Men, women relationships are funny. I was out surfing today. I'm talking to a guy and I said, one thing women like, they like you to listen to them. You don't have to agree, and they don't have to be convinced that you're agreeing. Just say yes, look at them in the eye, and sound like you are agreeing with them, and they'll be happy. And my wife has told me this many times.
My wife has told me the same thing.
Has your wife told you this, Vern?
Many times.
There you go. See, we're all married. We all know. So any of you single guys out there, that's a good piece of advice. Listen to your woman.
And as long as when you're listening, every once in a while you have to say something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they don't think it's real. Yeah. Yes. And I mean, sometimes I have to repeat back. Yes, I hear you. I understand your dilemma.
Or if they're having if they're talking about something that's really rough, say, "Oh my God, that's terrible."
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Show some.
Whatever it is, just don't try to solve the problem.
No,
exactly.
but show sensitivity.
Yeah.
That's women.
In fact,
like
the
it.
next time my wife does that, Bruce, I'm going to call you. Bruce, come here. Tell my wife these
Well,
things.
it's interesting. We've all been married about the same number of years, haven't we?
20. I'm going on 26.
Okay, I'm 20, almost 21. How about you, Vern?
I'm coming up on 18.
Wow, we're old
Well,
veterans
you know
here.
what? We should have a whole show on just how to stay married.
Yeah, there you go. And in the sports world too, which is not easy to do.
Uh,
Although in our area, it's not that tough.
But you guys feel like I do, like you've been married so long, you don't know if you were born first or married first.
I'm beginning to feel that way.
It's like someone comes up to me and says, "Are you married or happy?" I go, no, wait a minute, hold on, don't ask me that question.
Hey, what kind of a question is that? And speaking of guys saying inappropriate things, how about this Dallas Cowboy player that's just back who was talking about Tom Brady?
Greg Hardy.
Yeah, Greg Hardy talking about Tom Brady's wife, Giselle. He says, bring Giselle and bring her sister over. And then Jerry Jones was asked about it, and he said, "Oh, I always respected Tom because he married such a beautiful woman." And so he's condoning this kind of nonsense from Greg Hardy, who I guess was just reinstated because he was involved in some kind of off-the-field incident with a woman. So, I guess that tells you where Jerry Jones is headed.
I mean, wait a minute. I guess the guy, he saw the Rocky 3 where Clubber Lang
that's right.
Rocky, he goes, "Hey, woman, come on over. I'll show you."
Yeah, I'll show you a good time. Yeah.
I'll show you a real man.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Jerry Jones, though, just boy, as long as you can play football, hey, and the ends justify the means. I guess I don't know.
I'm sure several employees of the Dallas Cowboys have pulled Greg Hardy aside. I'm sure Greg's agent has texted him and given him a call just with a, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
The thing that fascinates me about your career is that one of the things I think you do so well is you really get into the personalities of the individuals you're talking to, and you get to see, and they kind of open up and they trust you. I've noticed that because of just your outgoing personality. And you remember a guy that used to be around the Bay Area, and I don't think any of our listeners probably remember him because he was kind of behind the scenes, but his name was Sam Skinner. You remember Sam, right?
For sure.
Big Sam. I was just thinking of Big Sam the other day and how he would handle somebody like a Jim Harbaugh or Colin Kaepernick or Greg Hardy who just said ridiculous things. I don't think, knowing Sam was one of those guys who would shoot from the hip. He'd probably ask him a really embarrassing question and put the guy in his place. But do you have any good memories of Sam Skinner?
Yeah. The time the Niners went over to play in England, and they had a receiving line. We all meant to clean, and he didn't know what to say. And somebody said, "Hey, Sam, when she comes over, just kind of like bow or whatever, and just be, just be courteous and say, hello, what an honor, whatever. Anyway, he just rubs him what to say, and then she comes up to him, holds out her hand, and he grabs her hand and says, "Hey, Queen Mama, what's happening?"
I love it.
And what did she do?
I think she laughed.
Yeah, she had to laugh.
There you
That was
go.
Sam would ask things. I remember Sam asked Billy Martin once a question, and Billy Martin just started insulting him, and Sam just kept asking more questions. And Billy, before long, Billy was his buddy. I mean, that was the thing about Sam. Sam, one time, I remember seeing him in the locker room bumping into Burt Reynolds, who owned this USFL football team, and Sam was trying to interview some of the players of the Tampa team, which Burt Reynolds owned, and he bumped into him, and Burt Reynolds turned around and looked at Sam, and he goes, "Excuse me." And, you could tell who Burt Reynolds was. You knew who he was, the owner, and you knew who he was. And Sam goes, "Excuse me." And then Burt Reynolds says to Sam, "Who are you?" He goes, "My name is Sam Skinner, and I'm here to interview your players, Mr. Reynolds. Now, if you would please move out of the way, I will talk to them."
I love it. Hey guys, stay with us on that note. That's funny. Okay, here's our second trivia question. Again, the theme is baseball in the year 2010. When Steven no, I can't do it as well as you. When Steven Strasburg struck out 14 batters in his 2010 Major League debut, it was the most strikeouts in a debut since 1971. Which pitcher debuted in 1971 with a 15 strikeout game?
Oh, I know that
You
one.
know that one. Okay,
Yeah.
stay with us. Sports Econ 101 will be right back.
James Rodney Richard.
There you go.
Yeah, and against the Giants.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's why you knew it. Because
I was at the game.
You were at the.
Yeah, and that was the year the Giants actually won the division.
Oh yeah, and then they lost to
Yeah.
the Pirates.
And they lost to the Pirates.
You know,
Actually, Vern, I don't think you know this about Sam. I traveled with Sam quite a bit because the Raiders used to take him, and they take a lot of people back in the day. This is way back in the
This
70s.
back when you get on the plane with him, right?
Yeah. And so Sam used to have this little portable cassette player, and he would play his.
I remember it. 'Cause
Yeah.
When I started interviewing at Econ, for my job interview, I went out with Gary to the NFC Championship press conference. It was at the Embarcadero Hyatt,
Right.
and Sam Skinner was there. That's when I first met Sam.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
Sam
Little
was.
tape recorder.
Is he dead?
Oh yeah, he's been dead for a while. He's been dead about 20
Yeah,
years.
oh, man, you're gonna love this part, man. Yeah, Gary, man, get man.
He was something else. If he was around, he'd probably be in his 70s now. He'd be about 75. He was only about 56 when he died.
Really?
Well, he was a big guy, overweight. Had some health problems.
Yeah, there's a section of the press box of the Oakland Coliseum that's named after him.
Yeah, actually, there's a press room for the Warriors. There's a press box in Oakland, and there's the Sam Skinner not interview room, but eating room or cafeteria at Packville Park.
Really? Well, it's just the way that you said it. I getting
Eating room.
It sounded like it was.
Well, Bob Rose came up with that idea because Bob Rose, PR director at the time, he thought Sam, loved food, so let's name the lounge after him. He'd appreciate that.
But just when you did the voice, it sounded like he was a small person. You
Yeah,
know?
no, he was a big guy.
Yeah.
Not that tall, but just wide. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown here along with Bruce.
I love that. We don't do it, we don't do any second takes here. If we
No, you
screw
just
it
do
up,
blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
Okay, when Steven Strasburg struck out 14 batters in his 2010 Major League debut, it was the most strikeouts in a debut since 1971. Which pitcher debuted in 1971 with a 15 strikeout game?
That was
Bruce?
James Rodney Richard. The tragic story of him was that he suffered a stroke at the age of 30 and was never quite the same. And then they found him living under a freeway, and he was homeless, and they got him a job, and he got back on his feet. He's doing okay now. But he struck out, I was at this game, he struck out 15 Giants, and he was a big guy, 6'8", had a blazing fastball. And the Giants were a good team that year. They won the division, but they couldn't hit him that day.
Wow.
That was something else.
Well, speaking of the Giants, very, very good. That is the correct answer, by the way. Did you read about Jeremy Affeldt saying about how the guys who were taking steroids basically took food off his table? And if you think about it, that makes sense. I mean, if guys are taking steroids and they're walloping the ball against a pitcher, it's going to affect his paycheck.
Oh, sure. The good news for Jeremy Affeldt was that most of his career was after the steroid era was at its peak. But it's interesting. The Giants now play kind of a little ball. I mean, they have some guys who can hit the long ball, but they don't have the Barry Bonds kind of guys anymore on their team that hit that long ball. Did you notice, Vernon, I remember covering the Giants back in the 90s real closely, and I remember seeing Bonds come to spring training in '99 when he first started doing the juice because he was mad that McGuire set the record. He was going to show the world who was a better hitter. And Barry looked like he'd come out of some kind of Hulk Hogan workout camp. I mean, he had these huge shoulders, and he was never that big a guy. He was always kind of lean and muscular. Did you notice it right away? Because I sure as heck did.
I wouldn't say Hulk Hogan. I would say he was having whatever the Incredible Hulk was having. He just all of a sudden he got big really quick. I remember interviewing him while he was training with Harvey Shields.
Oh yeah.
At Stanford. This was right after the 1998 season, and he was bitter about what not so much Sammy Sosa, but what Mark McGwire had done.
Yeah.
And I see him the following spring, and he's just this huge, hulking piece of iron, and we all know the rest.
Well, was it mostly with McGwire because he knew McGwire was on the juice?
I think it was partly that. I don't know, Vernon, how you feel about this,
I think he knew McGwire was juicing.
Yeah.
I think I think you just can't be inside baseball and not know who's doing what. And so much was made of McGwire in particular, just being the man who saved baseball.
Yeah.
That really brought baseball back into the
because the '94 was the strike.
And let's just face it, he had the complexion to make the connection. He was getting all the endorsements. He was getting everything.
Yeah, but even more than Sammy.
Bonds looked at him and said, "Look, I'm not juicing, and I'm 10 times the ball player he is.
And he's
doing it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. You get your popcorn and watch the show."
Exactly. And Bonds had actually a better year in that he didn't hit as many homers, but he hit better for average. And the next year he came back and got hurt, only played half the year, but by 2000, at the age of 36, all of a sudden, he is hitting balls 500 feet on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah.
And we all knew, Vernon and I covered this guy. We all knew what was going on, but we just, I don't know what it was. If there was a malaise over us or we just felt it wasn't important. But, we didn't have any way of proving it.
It was fun to watch it, too.
Yeah, but we enjoyed it.
And Dave Parker was McGwire's first hitting coach with the Cardinals.
That's right.
He told me in a conversation that even in batting practice, there were balls that were leaving the ballpark, and he just said to himself, "That's not normal."
No.
But he couldn't say anything because he's a hitting coach.
Yeah, and Parker knew about hitting long balls because he did it without the juice, and he could hit it over 500 feet.
Yeah. But what about? I wonder how many cork bats, for Sammy Sosa. How many home runs he hit off?
Well, he did get caught with one. That's right. I'm not sure. I'm much less inclined to. It's funny. McGwire took a lot more of the heat for that later. He got the credit early for being the home run king
because he denied it.
And then Sosa was kind of overlooked. Nobody really got down on Sammy Sosa for taking steroids because he didn't break the record. Well, he broke the record, but he broke it after McGwire broke it.
In the same year.
So it was kind of a blessing, I think, for Sammy not to have. Not to be the point man on that.
Well, and the thing is, I mentioned this before, that Andy Pettitte admitted doing the roids, but the thing is, because he admitted it, boom, it was over.
Yeah, well, that's Jason Giambi, same thing. I mean, if you
remember when Sosa got called to testify, that's when he claimed that he did not speak English.
Yeah, that was a classic moment. Sam doesn't understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Just like when Melky Cabrera got busted.
And he left the team without saying a word because I think he was just so ashamed of himself, and the players just hated him. And there was the possibility they could have him back, and the players said, "No, we don't want him back." And you know what was funny? He was a big part of that team.
Oh, he was.
And they went on and won without him, which is really an amazing story.
Yeah.
They had guys like Juan Perez and Gregor Blanco out there.
Yeah. So. But I remember the big thing with Melky was, did he create some kind of a weird website or something?
He did to show that he wasn't it Vernon? He was doing that to show that he wasn't doing it. He wanted to prove to everybody that he had been not doing steroids.
It all ended up just blowing up in his face.
Boy, he's what's ever happened to him? He went to Chicago and he just sort of. I mean, he had an okay year there, but boy, he's not the same.
He's still playing. I was impressed. Still playing.
He's still playing. Well, he's a decent player. He was having an absurd first half with the Giants. I mean, his numbers were ridiculous, and you knew something was up again. And you thought, gee, I mean, the Giants. The last thing the Giants wanted after Bonds was to have another steroid user in their clubhouse. I mean, Brian Sabian was very clear about that. So it's interesting how the Giants.
I think what he did is ridiculous. I think what Dallas Keuchel did to the Yankees was absurd.
Yeah. That's true. That's a better way to use it. That was amazing.
I mean, not to change the subject, but I had to get this in for the Houston Astros and what they're able to do. I mean, Keuchel was he was was just a man against little boys.
Well, how about
Mariota?
Yeah, how about Jake Arrieta against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh? And Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's not so much the movement, but it's just where they were just play their pitches and catch things. Just pitch in, out. I mean, they were just both of them were just matchable.
Yeah.
What's the deal with Sean Rodriguez? What was the deal with Sean Rodriguez?
He got involved. I guess he was woofing with one of the other players on the other team, and he had to be restrained by one of his teammates. He was using some foul language, got kicked out of the game, and then after he got kicked out of the game, he went after one of the drink dispensers and used it as a punching bag, which was pretty funny to watch. If you have a chance to watch that on YouTube, it's like, here's a good way for a guy to break his hand.
It sounded like the fact that he was in the lineup, but he didn't even get the hit because they were down and they needed more bats.
I just felt sorry for the Pirates because last year in the wild card game they had this huge crowd. It's blackout night and they're shut out by Madison Bumgarner. Same thing. You come back out, you face another great pitcher, and you're shut out a second year in a row. That's gotta hurt.
I feel for Andrew McCutchen because he's a good guy.
Yeah, he is a good guy.
Just hasn't had the
Hasn't happened.
It's like one of those guys who goes through his whole career playing really well and just never gets on a team that can actually make the playoffs.
Yeah. Hey, Vern, who do you like of the athletes you're dealing with today, pro athletes? Who do you like talking to the most, just here in the Bay Area? Somebody who's a well-known name that our national audience might recognize.
Oh wow.
Would you say Steph Curry or Klay Thompson would be at the top of the list?
Well, any of those Warriors. I mean, Curry's kind of a Curry reminds me of like an Alan Trammell or like a Paul Molitor. With very, very approachable, never too high, never too low. Just somebody that you can just talk to about anything.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Ronnie Lott was a lot like that.
Oh yeah.
It didn't necessarily have to be about sports. It could just be about anything, pop culture, whatever. But just a really good yes ma'am, no ma'am, pull the chair out for your lady. Open the door. He just knew what to do. Well mannered. You tell he was raised right. Steph Curry's one of those guys. It's hard. It's hard to not like him.
It's funny because
you can't not like him.
Yeah.
You look at Ronnie Lott and the way he hit guys on the field, you wouldn't expect to have you say the same thing about him.
Well, the funny thing is with the tough guys sometimes are the nicest guys. I found. Haven't you found that to be true, Vern? Some of the toughest, nastiest guys in the field can actually be some of the most soft-spoken, friendly guys off the field.
Here's a funny thing. If you notice that some of the meanest, nastiest, hard-hitting guys end up having daughters.
Oh, boy, that softens them even more.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That's God's way of telling you, hey, slow down there, sport.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, you got to deal with Colin Kaepernick on a regular basis. Colin is from a happy home, raised by two parents who were very sweet with him. He had a good experience in high school, good experience growing up in a small town in Turlock. Why is he? I don't sense he's hostile, but I sense he's just almost secretive, that he doesn't want to give the media anything. Was it Harbaugh that kind of poisoned him? But he's been that way before.
It's clear that Harbaugh was the first that they got a hold of him.
Yeah.
Harbaugh's got 15 years in the league. He came from. He's a disciple of Bo Schembechler and Mike Ditka. He's one of these. It's us against them. It's our little circle here against everybody else, and they're the enemy. I mean, that's kind of how and that's what he tried to implement into Colin Kaepernick. Don't be trusting. Those guys are out to get you. They'll take what you say, use it against you. I mean, he's just Jim's just a mastermind to get in your head and making you think that way. And because it's a matter of proven record, how can you debate that?
Yeah.
So here's Kaepernick, probably a little chip on his shoulder. He never really was heavily recruited to college. There's one story where he really wanted to play for Cal. He wanted at the time Jeff Tedford to come in and see him work out while he was at Pittman High School in Turlock. And on the day he was supposed to show up, Tedford didn't show. He didn't show. So he ends up signing with Nevada Reno, runs the pistol offense to perfection, and the rest is history. He had a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, got drafted as a major league pitcher, did not play baseball, opted for football, and so here's Jim Harbaugh, who knew that he needed a running quarterback, athletic, who could throw, and that's what he got.
Is he still
now he doesn't have Jim anymore, and that
Yeah.
He's young, and I can remember being young and doing stupid stuff and saying silly stuff and believing that you're better than the rest. I mean, come on. I mean, you're a young guy. You're starting quarterback for an NFL team. You know, we're pulling hot chicks. I mean, who doesn't fall in love with that?
Is he still?
We're a bunch of old guys.
Yeah. But I'm
all that kind of stuff. So we kind of know that. He doesn't have any wisdom.
He doesn't have that wisdom. Is he still salvageable as a player though? Because he is a unique talent,
yeah.
and it seems like, I mean, he may not be the right fit for this current team. They're not very good. I mean, a lot of the onus of what has happened to the 49ers falls on his shoulders, but some of it should fall on the offensive line and the defense, which has lost a lot. I mean, could he? If you put him around in a good environment, I would think, with the right coach and the right players, he's shown he can do it before. He could do it again. Why not?
I believe so. I really believe so. But not to dissuade the conversation away from Kaepernick. I enjoy watching guys like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching Peyton Manning at the advanced age that he is. It always takes him forever to get his uniform off.
Oh, I know.
Because of the soreness, because of the numbness in his fingers, just doesn't move the way he does.
Hey, Vern, stay with us. We're going to cut to one quick commercial break, and then we'll let you finish your thought. Okay. Which Boston Red Sox player got called up from the minors in June 2010 and then hit a grand slam home run on the first pitch he saw in the majors?
Oh, I think I know.
You know this one? Okay. We'll give you the chance to answer that when we come back. Stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown, Bruce McGowan, and, of course, Vern Glenn. And stay with us. We're going to have some closing comments on Sports Econ 101. Don't touch that dial.
Tell you, I keep forgetting, Vern, this hour goes so much faster when you are with us.
I know.
So much more fun to have you aboard. I wish you were still here.
Well, it's my pleasure.
We appreciate your positivity. Positivity, man.
Let's get this bad boy.
Going. I tell you, Vern, I was out surfing today, and this gal, she paddled up to me. It couldn't have been any older than 30. Just a sweetheart. She had a big smile on her face. She goes, "Are you having a good time?" I said, "Oh, I always have a good time." She, "See you later." She takes off on a wave, and she was just gliding on this wave like nobody's business.
I know. I keep telling him. I said, all these women are going after him.
No, they're not going after. But they're not threatened by an older guy who's not on the board. You see, I'm body surfing. So
that's true.
They see this old gray-haired, gray-bearded guy.
They can get away from you quickly if they have to.
They can. They can outrun me. And they're on the board too. So.
All right.
But these women today, Vernon, I'm telling you, man, I'm glad I'm a single guy because they're very, they. I don't know.
You forget I have 3 boys in the house. I have 2 teenagers, and so we listen to a lot of female drama.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Well, it must be interesting for your wife to have all this testosterone around the house.
It's my wife loves it because she's the only chick in the house.
Yeah.
She can offer the insight. And tell them what's really going on.
Yeah, that's good for them
That's
because
true.
probably they're going through the whole thing about what do I say to girls, and she can just say, "Hey, come to me, I'll tell you what you say to girls."
But
they
you're just
know what to say to the girls.
Yeah.
Just how to handle certain situations.
Gotcha. All right, guys, let's finish this bad boy off. Here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Bruce McGowan, and of course, our favorite guest and used to be co-host, Vern Glenn. Third and final trivia question. Which Boston Red Sox player got called up from the minors in June 2010 and then hit a grand slam home run on the first pitch he saw in the majors? Vern, you said you knew this.
I know the question because I did a story on him, and he's a local guy, Daniel Nava.
That's correct.
Right, yeah. Whatever happened? What
guy went to St. Francis High School, Mountain View, went to Santa Clara, and had to kind of play his way on. He was like team manager like as a freshman. And then he got some playing time, joined the team, and then kind of worked his butt off, and boom.
Wow, what a story! Is he still playing with the Red Sox? I don't even know.
I think he's in Tampa Bay.
He's in Tampa. Okay,
that's right.
I think he's with the Rays.
There you go.
All right, Vern, we got just a quick half minute. If you want to finish off your story.
Well, I've just been enjoying seeing these veteran guys like Aaron Rodgers go to work. Peyton Manning, going to see him this weekend. I love the fact that we still got like 4 unbeaten teams in the NFL. two in the same division. It's just been wonderful to watch, and I just we got a fourth of the season gone and another 3/4 of the regular season to go.
All right.
Let's bring it home.
Let's bring it home. Vern Glenn, thank you again for joining us on Sports Econ 101. Of course, we're going to have you back. Here's our thoughts for the day. Robin Williams said, I always thought lacrosse was what you found in La Church.
I went to high school with Robin
I
Williams.
know you did. That's why I had it here.
Yeah.
And people don't realize unless they look, that people say I look like Robin Williams. Okay.
And you kind of do.
I do a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
If I had his money, I'd throw mine away. Henny Youngman said, if at first you don't succeed, so much for skydiving.
What you just said with that little joke you had sounded like a Henny Youngman joke.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right, tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be discussing sports topics from a business perspective, giving away more free vacations for answering sports trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Good night, America.
Good night, America. There we go. So long.
I forgot to ask you to say that, and I was going, I hope Brian says it.
I know.
It's outro there.